Recently I've been playing a lot of Axiom Verge and I find myself torn on whether I truly enjoyed the experience. On one hand, Axiom Verge is definitely an excellently crafted game, taking very heavy inspiration from the likes of Metroid, as fans of the genre can no doubt obviously tell. I actually really enjoy the fact that this game is so derivative, since it's ironically refreshing to just have a more straightforward Metroidvania, seeing as most indie Metroidvanias seem to want to ironically distance themselves from the original Metroid in an attempt to stand out. But that's not Axiom Verge's statement, no sir. This game definitely borrows heavily from the original Metroid, and that means all of the game's positives, as well as quite a few of its negatives. Now I know that this game is based more around Metroid 1 than it is Super Metroid, I get that, but one of the most fun aspects of Super Metroid and later Metroid installments, including some of the 3D ones even, was the ability to sequence break. I love playing through missions out of order in Super Metroid via sequence breaking techniques. It truly felt like I was in control of the entire game. If I didn't want to fight the first boss that gives you the bombs, it was only a well-timed jump and a quick sprint away from having to avoid to fight them at all. If I wanted to fight the bosses in an esoteric order, get upgrades for Samus before I was supposed to get them, go to different areas before I was even supposed to be there, and finish the game with only 15% of all the items, all of this was possible with sequence breaking, and none of this is possible without sequence breaking in Axiom Verge. In fact, it seems like the developer went out of his way to prevent the game from being sequence broke, since the replacements for the morph ball and bombs are this miniature robot that goes through tight spaces, glitching, and of course a drill. Glitching comes in a variety of uses, whether it's to spawn more platforms via your Axiom Disruptor, to simply ram yourself into walls in order to glitch through them, or even use the Axiom Disruptor to change AI behavior within the game itself. The drill is self-explanatory. See a bunch of rocks on the ground? Drill that shit like you're Simon the Digger. However, none of the uses for glitching or drilling can be used to sequence break the game, which is a little disappointing considering the concept of literally being able to use glitches in a game would have made the sequence breaking possibilities endless, albeit it would be a little challenging to make that sort of glitching usage possible without making it outright cheating. One of the things I like in Axiom Verge that it does better than most of the 2D Metroid games is its use of gunplay and the sheer amount of weapons available within the game. There are 23 weapons in total that Axiom Verge gives you to play with, which is so far ahead of any of the actual Metroid games that it's not even funny. My personal favorite gun in the game is the Fat Beam. I'm a firing my laser! Which is one of 3 total weapons only available in the Secret Worlds, a glitch-styled area that can come in a variety of difficulties depending on the secret world you've found. I'm not sure how I feel about the aesthetic of the Secret Worlds, considering it's just the normal world with a TV fuzz filter over it, but it does the job well enough of differentiating itself from the normal environments. I think my main issue with this game is that while it's fun to play and very well made, it's honestly not very memorable. This is just more of a personal gripe, but I find that one of the inherent faults in an interpret yourself plotline is that while the superficial details of what's going on are there and are memorable, what the actual characters say and do isn't that memorable. While the world itself looks interesting as well, it also suffers from the same problem as the plot. It's nice to look at from the onset, but if you ask me what any of the names of the map sections are after a week passes from playing the game, I couldn't tell you the first thing about it, honestly. I guess a positive result of all that, though, is that it encourages multiple playthroughs just so that you can attempt to remember where everything is. But sadly it makes exploration less intriguing in the first playthrough, as all of the environments, specifically the level structures of said environments, sort of blend together in my mind. Not to say that the exploration suffers because of it, honestly the very size and nature of this game encourages exploring as much as possible, but I do think that comparisons to other Metroidvania are inevitable. And I also feel like even a game like Guacamelee was more fun to just do the simple act of exploring. Though I feel that Axiom Verge is better combat than Guacamelee, but I digress. This was made by one guy though, so I feel like comparing it to other Metroidvanias made by teams of people is kind of unfair, so I'll pull my punches. At least it's better than most of the Shantae series. There is one thing about this game though that's a 10 out of 10, and that's the soundtrack. I can't really recall any other video game that has this sort of unique style of music to it. I don't claim to be a music aficionado, in fact I'm far from one, but I can appreciate a unique composition when I hear one, and Axiom Verge is chock full of them. The sound effects are easily the best part of the game too. Every sound effect sounds so punchy and rough. It's sort of like the feeling I get when I'm playing a Super Nintendo beat-em up. Just the act of doing anything in this game is fun by proxy of the sound effects. As with any Metroidvania, there's always a looming challenge of getting 100%, which I personally haven't done myself because this is one of the most difficult instances of achieving that status, but if you're a completionist nut, knock yourself out. If you're interested in Axiom Verge, it is a cross-buy game if you own both a PS4 and a PS Vita, and I highly recommend playing the game on both at the same time, as it's a very pick-up-and-play sort of game, which fits with playing Vita on the bus ride home, and then playing the game on the big screen at home. Thanks for watching this video, subscribe for more miniature reviews as well as in-depth lengthy reviews, and have a good one.